Story 1. TIFU by living in a dark bedroom for 6 years. The overhead fan in our bedroom uses one of those compact halogen light bulbs. 6 years ago, the bulb burned out and got really dim, just barely aglow. I bought a replacement bulb, but when I put that one in, it was also barely lighting up, so I realized the unit was bad. The fan still worked great. It is literally the best fan I've ever had because it moves a ton of air and is super quiet. The fan had also been a gift when we moved into our house. The unit cost over $400, so I didn't really want to replace it, even though our bedroom doesn't get much natural light, so it is pretty dark. So since then, over the years, my wife and I have had to make do with no overhead light. We open the windows during the day and at night use a combination of bedside lamps and the bathroom light. It's never really as good of lighting as an overhead lamp, so I keep some flashlights up there for when we're cleaning or looking for something, etc. After 6 years of living in the dark, this winter I just decided I would replace the damn thing. But before I did, I decided to try one last time with another bulb, because however unlikely, it's possible both bulbs I had tried were bad. So I'm up there, installing the new bulb, grab the remote for the fan, and as I'm turning the light on, I realize the damn thing is dimmable. For 6 freaking years, we've lived with the inconvenience of no overhead light, and the whole time, it was just because the damn thing was set to dim. Story 2. TIFU by texting my pregnant wife that this isn't working. I went to work today and turned my phone off as usual. I had almost 30 missed texts and calls from my pregnant wife by the time I turned it back on. Most of them said something along the lines of, "How could you do this to me?" I had no clue what she was talking about and she didn't answer any of my calls back. I got home and she was packing up, ready to leave me. I'll admit it, I cried. A lot. I had no clue what was happening or what I did. Finally, it comes out that I had texted her that I wanted a divorce. She showed me the text, and I immediately realized what happened. This morning, a freestanding mirror for our bedroom was delivered. I texted her, "The new mirror came in. I'm going to try to put it together, but I may need your help later." So I ended up having trouble putting it together and eventually gave up. I texted her, "This isn't working, and at this point, I think I need to just give up." Apparently, the first text didn't go through, just the second one. So my pregnant wife panicked for a few hours while I was off thinking everything was great. She even called a divorce lawyer. Things are fine now, but she's still crying off and on. She told me we can laugh about it tomorrow. Story 3. TIFU by playing a joke on a colleague who took it seriously. I ended up losing a vacation day and got a disciplinary action in my file. I worked for a workman's compensation provider some time ago, and there was this guy in my department, Todd, who was mildly annoying. Nice enough guy, but just a bit juvenile. He enjoyed pranks and was always trying to get a rise out of everyone in the office. Little things, like taping our computer mouse or asking ransom for the return of our coffee cup. It got to be enough, so I decided he needed some payback. He paid out a claim that was huge, and he was nervous about it. I don't know why, but it just seemed like an opportunity to me, and so I waited. About a week later, in a team meeting, everyone was in on it but Todd. I said there were some payouts that were kicked upstairs for review, and that it was a potentially serious situation. A couple of days after that, I stopped and poked my head into his office and asked, "Did you pay X amount on the Smith file?" He said he had and asked me why. I just walked away. The following Monday, I had my plan laid out fairly well. After sharing the details with my brother-in-law, he suggested that I borrow his black surplus Impala cop car and park it at the entrance. Then, early that morning, I went about putting crime scene tape across the door to Todd's office. I had the receptionist in on it too. When Todd came in that morning, she would look at him, then fumble for the phone, turn her back, and mumble into the receiver. Todd made it to the top of the steps when I rushed up to him and said, "Dude, go. Just go." "What the hell are you talking about?" he asked. "Just turn around and leave. Drive anywhere. Just go." He shrugged me off, but I could tell that he was a little rattled. He turned the corner to see his office door blocked with crime scene tape, and for a moment, he froze in his tracks. He walked past his office and around the corner, out of sight. He ended up slipping out through the stairwell. He was gone for 9 hours. I had to call his wife to get a message to him that it was just a joke. His absence meant that management got involved. I had to confess to being the perpetrator of the prank. I got a stern talking to, my boss was trying really hard not to laugh, and I lost a vacation day as a result, but it was worth it. Todd doesn't tape my mouse anymore. Story 4. TIFU by changing my husband's desktop photo. So my husband loves birds, all kinds of birds. He thinks they're great. He is especially fond of ducks. Last night, while he was in the kitchen prepping a snack, I thought it would be fun to change the desktop photo on his laptop. He had left it open on the couch. I found a cute duck picture, made it his desktop background, set the laptop back on the couch, and made my way innocently back to the kitchen table where I had also been having a snack. My husband finishes his snack a little while later and heads back to the couch while I remain at the table. He pulls his computer toward him and goes, "Oh my God, honey, look, ducks!" As he stands up holding his laptop and tries to come to me, he trips and falls over the glass end table we have, shattering it. If that wasn't bad enough, he fell onto his MacBook, smashing it completely open and crushing it. If that also wasn't bad enough, he also broke his wrist because of how he fell on it since he was holding the laptop. I feel like a terrible person, but my husband still loves ducks.